Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today I've got two replays to show you in the Tier 10 Premium Chinese Tank Destroyer, the 114 SP2. Now, this tank has also had a buff. It's one of the many tanks which have had changes, and I'm trying to go through them all. So today we've got the replay in this tank. But what have they done to the tank? So they have essentially buffed DPM, so they've given it a slight reload time buff from 14.6 without obviously the crew equipment etc. to now 13.9, which is quite nice. It's that little bit extra DPM. They've also reduced the shot dispersion penalty during the rotation of the turret from 0.12 to 0.1, so a slight change there. And a slight buff to the aim time from 2.3 to 2, as well as a slight buff to the turret traverse speed from 18 to 20. But the biggest change to this tank, it's only a slight change which has made all the difference, is they've buffed the terrain resistance. So basically the most, the resistance you're going to have when you're driving across, firm, medium and soft terrain. And that's allowed you to get to your sort of top speed of 45 kilometers an hour a lot quicker. And this was always my biggest gripe with this tank, is because it was basically, I always found it was too unmobile and it just took you forever to get anywhere. And that slight change for me is made this tank so much more enjoyable to play. It's still not like a massive overpowered tank destroyer. But it's quite enjoyable to play now. It's just made all the difference. And I've had a lot of fun playing this tank now. So I've got two replays for you. I'm going to get on to the replays now. I'll stop rambling. Let's get on with it. Okay then, so here we are for the first replay on Forge, where there is one enemy light tank and no enemy artillery pieces. If you want to see the build loadout I'm using, that'll be at the bottom of the screen now, where you'll be able to see my crew and equipment I am running. So on Forge, I'm just going to initially try and push up to the same sort of position I like to try and use from this spawn, which you'll see in a minute. Trying to, kind of central in the map, so I've got shots at multiple different angles depending how the game is going to develop. And I'm just moving into the position now. So this tank, if you haven't played it, it's got 650 alpha gun. It's got pretty much no armour, but it has got, which is weird because you look at the tank and you think it would have armour, but it doesn't. You can bounce the odd shot, but mainly there's not much armour in this tank. You do have decent concealment of 262, and you can see we push into our initial position just to punish the crosshair. Like, we've got a nice shot into the Waffle E100. He then gets taken out by a combination of our Turan and friendly Skoda T50. And from where we are, we can also punish and shoot up into the 8-9 line from here. And we've just got shots at multiple angles. I am pulling back to try and get into this bushes behind us to give us a little bit extra concealment. Get a nice shot there into that enemy heavy tank. See if we can try and, also TVP I should say. See if we can try and get another one in. And we've also got, we've just got shots on multiple angles. Just got to be careful if I do get spotted here. I'm kind of in the open. I'll kind of put myself in a position there. If I get detected, my plan is to drive forward, get in that big rock basically in front of me to try and stop, just to get out of line of fire. But as our tanks are pushed up, I'm unlikely to get detected here at this moment, not from that range down the 8-9 line. And just trying to be as patient as I possibly could. Now an enemy heavy pokes all the way around. I'm going to try and punish this. We do get one into that check tier 9 heavy tank, and now again you see me move straight to this rock just to put something in direct line of fire, in the way of their line of fire, so they can't get shots into me. The stuff on the 8-9 are not poking at the moment, so I'm kind of fairly safe until they do so. Now, annoyingly, I actually had a fantastic replay to show in this tank. A really good game on Westfield. And then I was so happy, I wanted to try and show it for you, and then it didn't record. So that was bitterly disappointing. But I do have this game and another decent replay to show you. Just gutting I didn't have the one I actually wanted to show you on. Get a lovely finishing shot there on the light tank as I get a bit distracted and lose my chain of thought. But we pick up one kill there, and now we're on 3,000 damage. And we're starting to take control of this game. As you can see, our enemy tanks have pushed down the bottom side, and I feel like I've got as much out of this position as I'm going to get right now. And I'm moving in to try and cover our friendly heavy tank there in the bottom, because I feel like this is where the rest of the damage is going to be now. There's always going to be tanks camping at the sort of J, yeah, where that just got pinged at the J sort of 890. There's always tanks hiding down there. And I need to try and push forward to try and get into this game. We do get another shot out, putting us onto 3,700 damage and 1 kill. And we're now in a 14 versus 9 scenario. So it's not one, but it's looking pretty much that way. The enemy team are right up against it now. So we're just seeing if we can poke round and get another shot into this tank destroyer there, but he's hard aiming at us. We don't really want to eat another one. He does lose his spot. I am full health, so I can eat a shot, but I know there's still an enemy Tyrann somewhere, and I don't want to get caught out by that tank. Again, just trying to watch these angles as I just try, if that tank destroyer shoots on the left, I'm going to poke out and get a shot into him. But it looks like these mediums are about to poke up, and if they do, I should be in a position here to get a nice shot in. So this enemy medium does push up, we get one in, putting us onto 4,500 damage. He gets taken out by our friendly tanks alongside us. And now we're going to poke and try and get a shot into this enemy tank destroyer as he leaves. Hoping he keeps coming around, but he just stops annoyingly. But we do then put a shot into this SDA, and he's not going to last very long there. The Tyrann gets caught leaving at the back of the map, all gets detected, so we know where the Tyrann is now. Kind of in a predictable situation. I'm pushing forward now because I can afford to eat a few shots in order to get more damage out of this game, because you can see the tanks are quickly disappearing here. Should have to finish on SP2, putting us on to just shy of 6,000 damage with 1 kill, and only 4 tanks remaining at this point. And we're just going to ignore this heavy tank and just start to head towards the tank which we knew was the Tyrann, because the other tanks are in the 8-9 line. I am going to swap to the HE shell, because you do have 90 penetration on the HE, which is easy enough penetration to pen a Tyrann, and that will gives us now from 840, so it really will boost our DPM. And we can eat a shot off this Tyrann. He is leaving. I'm just praying I can get there and get a nice juicy HE roll in there before his hit points get evaporated from a team. And this is where the mobility of this tank, that buff, this tank's so much quicker than it once was. It's just made a real difference. We do pen our HE round. Unfortunately, we don't roll very high. We only roll for 755 on the HE round, but we still get more damage than we would have done by shooting the standard rounds. Puts us on to 2 kills now and 6,500 damage. And maybe we'll get an opportunity to quickly get a shot into something in the hill if we're lucky. We snapped a shot there into the enemy medium tank. We did not have long to fire, and yeah, it's pretty unlikely now we're going to get any damage in unless this tank pokes up again. It's not really going to happen, and that's probably going to bring us into this game, because it looks like the enemy medium tank is going to start to try and head off the opposite way, and we're not going to get a chance to get any shots in, which is a shame. But yeah, it's pretty much brings us into the first replay. We finished that off with 2 kills, 6,500 damage, 300 assistance, and yeah, let's move on to the second and final replay of the video. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then on Hidden Village. Thankfully there's no enemy artillery in the game and 1 enemy light tank. The no artillery is a big thing. We're going to go and try and play the sort of left hand side of the map and get into a brawl almost. I mean, you don't always want to play this way with this tank, but this map is, there's not much you can really do on a map. This map, it's not a great map for TD, but we're going to go and get into the fight, and we do have a decent gun, so hopefully we can see what we can do. We are platooned up with our pal Swindle 321, who is in the dreaded Avery. So yeah, we do have the Avery support, and yeah, let's just see what we can do. No artillery, as I say, that is a big thing, and there's quite a few tier 9s in this particular lobby. So as we make our way, we're just sort of looking at what the tanks get detected, just remembering what those tanks are, because that's all very important information. Looks like the main force of our team is also coming this way. We don't really have much the other side, which is not the end of the world, because we win this side. It's quite easy to defend the base, so I'm never that worried. Quite often when tanks go the other side, you end up just farming them when they come out of the sort of village or the town area. So I'm not that worried about that at the moment, but I do want to make sure we definitely win the side we are heading towards. Otherwise, then we will cause a bit more of a problem. But there is quite a few of the enemy team here as well. So we're poking up, trying to get a nice shot into that Jag Tiger. Unfortunately, it bounces I don't overextend for too long because there's always going to be some nasty tank destroyers right down the end undetected, so you have to be careful of that. There isn't that many tank destroyers in this game though, there's only 3 in there. Enemy E100, we try and just get a cheeky shot there into the sort of turret roof there. Wasn't able to pen, but again, you see, I'm not taking a lot of opportunity. I'm not sitting there hard aiming those shots because then we'll put ourselves in all sorts of trouble. The tank does have 7 degrees of gun depression, so you can somewhat make the ridgeline work. We do get our first pen there into the enemy tank destroyer, getting us started on the scoreboard, and we are already a couple of tanks up. You can see on the right hand side of the map, some of the tanks are starting to come out of sort of the village on the right hand side, but we need to concentrate on winning this side at the moment. An E100 has now pushed up. I don't want to push into that. I want them to try and come round, and then maybe we can get a shot into them. But yeah, we're just sort of being a little bit patient here because it's, it's kind of, there's so many of our tanks in that sort of location. We've got to be a bit careful. Do squeeze one in though to the lower plate of that E100, getting our second pen, and we have still got all our hit points. I mean, Swindle's did a good job of just taking out this E100 at the moment. I'm trying to squeeze one into that turret bar, which I can pen. And just also just trying to avoid getting slapped. I don't want to lose 700 hit points to this tank if I can help it. I'm kind of waiting for him to fire and then try and get my shot in. Just try and get rid of this tank as quickly as we can without avoiding the damage. Now I go for the turret phase here, and unfortunately I bounce it. I can pen that. I've got 329 penetration. But yeah, it would be a lot easier with heat rounds with APCR. I mean, maybe I should have just gone for the top bar instead to finish him off. I go for it again, and I bounce again. Like I say, it's a kind of 50-50 pen that for me. I probably could have aimed a little bit better, but I didn't want to eat a shot. Now I have the rear of his side of his turret. We're not going to not pen that. Puts us on to 1,400 damage and 1 kill, and only 9 tanks remaining. So we've not had a great start to this game, considering a lot of tanks have been destroyed. We now are going to move back to try and defend our base now that we've won that side, and then I can divert my attention to tanks crossing, and we do get there just in time to slap this enemy E50 crossing towards the cap circle. And like I say, I've always found this fairly easy to defend when the enemy teams get stuck there. Another tank, a Leopard, gets spotted crossing, and boom, we just set his ammo rack off, putting us on to 1,700 extra damage there, putting us on to just shy of 4,000 damage. So that has helped us a lot. And yeah, the poor Leopard. And this tank, obviously, you do ammo rack stuff quite a lot because it's quite a high caliber gun, so you can get those ammo racks in. It's quite close this game now. It's 9 versus 7, so we have to. It's definitely not won yet. Trying to finish off this enemy medium. There are tanks looking for shots into us as well, so we've got to be a little bit careful now. But we don't just get slapped by a big tank in the undetected in the village. But we're up to about sort of just shy of 5,000 damage now with 3 kills, and we've actually blocked 320. Like I say, you can block odd shots in this, but it's more when they get you at sort of those weird angles than anything. Try and get a shot into that enemy heavy tank, which we spotted. Unfortunately, just gets behind the cover before we're able to get a shot in. And it's a shame we fired because we might miss out an opportunity of shooting the type there, which is a shame. Could have got, potentially we've got another 2 pens there, which would have really helped out. But this type is just in an awful position now. He's in the middle of the village, and if he does get detected again, we're going to be able to get shots in. The problem I've got is the TD to the right and that medium tank below us. It's just going to proxy spot us each time we poke this ridge, and then we're in danger of then getting shot by the tanks which we can't see in the village. So I am hoping that they get taken out quicker, because the second they've got taken out, I will just push straight across to spot those tanks in the village. But I can't do so until these tanks are dead. The medium is now dead, so now I just need the tank destroyer to our right to die, and then I can literally just go straight across, spot this up in the town, maybe pick up some assistance then, and be able to get some damage and shots in if they get detected. But we are just we know he's just on our right hand side below. Enemy heavy tank does get spotted there. There's a nemesis below us. It looks like he might start to get shot by our friendly team soon, so I'm just being a little bit patient, because I think one of the heavy tanks on the right side of our base should potentially have shots into him, which will force him to move. He does get shut down by our friendly E100. Now we are just moving straight in to see if we can get the more damage out of this game with 3 tanks remaining. But they are 3 fairly healthy tanks. We should be able to pen this enemy type 4. We do get a lovely shot in. We don't really want to get dirt by him, but thankfully, you know, he doesn't take all our hit points. And now we're going to try and move in and get a secondary shot for his lower plate with any luck before he gets around. Don't quite manage to get that in. He just gets to safety. We do track him in place though, and starting to pick up a bit more assistance off of him. And yeah, it's just about, you know, this game's won, isn't it? It's just about how much can we get out of this game before it ends. We get one more shot in, putting us on to about 6,000 damage. Should have to finish here on this type 4 if he doesn't get taken out by our teammates. We do get the finish, puts us on to 6,300. And then there's one more heavy tank, which is still full health. So we've got a chance here. We are fairly close to him to get another shot in to put us on to about 7,000. Should have the shot into the lower plate, which we do. Puts us just over the 7,000 mark. And now I suspect he's probably going to get taken out, but I'd love to get one more shot in if we could. Unfortunately, just annoyingly gets behind cover before we're able to get that shot in, but then we squeeze it in at the end, bring this an end to that game. So let's just see how we did there. We did, I think we got 4 kills, 7,600 damage. We do get the ace tanker in this one. Like I say, it's a shame. The game I really wanted to show you, it just didn't record. But I wanted to get the replay out so you could see the new changes to the tank. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!